Okay. Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Yoko from Japan. Welcome back to my channel. I am live from Fukuoka Prefecture, Japan. How are you guys doing? I hope that you guys are awake. It's nearly 4. Oh my gosh, I'm so late. A bit late, yes. Very late. I am sorry. I got in the habit of working out, and if I don't work out, then I feel bad now. So I woke up late, I had to work out, and also I had to meditate because I have a lot of junk on my mind as well. High maintenance in that way. Ohio! Ohio! How are you guys doing? So, that's right. Ohio, Ohio. So, I put in the title, Israel versus Iran. What are your thoughts on that? Oh, hello, Ohio. Yoko looks elegant and beautiful as always. Thank you. Thank you so much. It took a lot of time though to get ready. I'm sorry. So, yeah, Iran's attack on Israel. They keep saying, the news keeps saying that it's the first time, that Iran officially attacked Israel. But I'm like, they've been doing that, you know? And so that's what I don't like about it. That, whether it's Hamas or Hezbollah, it's always the Iran side that is attacking. And, Israel was attacked first, So I don't like the way that they report, because that's officially, precisely if you report it, then I guess that's the case. But you have to explain, that that's not what it looks like. You know what I'm trying to say. So that's what I don't like about it. But hi, you all. How are you? Thank you so much for coming. Okay. I don't have. Oh, today's newspaper. Is this today's newspaper? Oh, I didn't know that. My husband. I didn't know this. I thought that it looked old for some reason. Maybe I'm from the future. Who knows? Wait. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze, but no. Okay, today. Just something I don't understand. What is this about? It's about the money scandal of LDP. They keep talking about it, and I'm like, I'm done, I don't care. Oh, and there's Richard Haas. Do you know this guy? I don't know him. But what is it about? Did you even see the face? Okay. It's hard to show you the face. Something about election. Oh, there are many elections and blah blah blah. And Ukraine. Oh yeah. Oh, 鼻水が。Yoko, what are your thoughts on the anti-NHK party? Nothing really. I know that the original leader of the party, I don't know what has happened to the party, but the guy that started it, I know him and he still remembers me. What an honor. When I was visiting Tokyo and I was going to one of the National Diet buildings, because my husband and we had an appointment with the National Diet members. And at the entrance, I was combing my hair. And then I saw the leader and I'm like, oh yeah. Oh, that's him. I was combing my hair because I thought that he wouldn't remember me. We saw each other at one of conservative political meeting in Tokyo, and I think I met him more than once, and he was just an activist before, and so that's why I felt close to him and so on. And yeah, and he made that party, and that was also crazy. But yeah, he noticed me, and he's like, you know. So I had to stop my hand. And, but yeah. Anyway, um, I guess that their message got delivered, throughout Japan because people thought that the party is interesting, and some people, out of curiosity, voted for him and his party too. But today, like he went around, trying to protect his party and also trying to get an attention, from the mass. And so he did, I don't know, like he's a little bit, he seems, he's thought to be a little bit problematic. Like he has issues or something, like that's what people think. And so I don't know what has happened to the party. I don't even pay attention because they're a small power, so yeah. But I guess that he played a big role for our society, that NHK can have problems. I don't like NHK. Is just they deliver news on our like standard policies, right? And our society is left biased due to the occupation period after the World War II, like when we lost the war. So they are reflecting that, and therefore their reports are left biased, and people, it's a problem for us because we want to be patriotic, and we want facts, and we don't need like guilt imprinting narrative. So I think that he did a good job, waking people up, but I don't know where he's going now, though, because there are new parties now and people pay more attention to that, those. So like it's not as it's not catching people's eyes or attention as much as before. Hi Yoko, I can't stay long, but I wanted to ask if you know about Akari Iyama, and if you do, what are your thoughts on her? It's hard to answer that because I don't want to become her enemy by mentioning her. It's a very delicate, sensitive thing here in Japan now, right? Let's see. She is a great researcher when it comes to Middle East, and although it happens in whatever your profession is, like experts often, like for example, if a researcher is researching about Putin and Russia, he or she is going to like Russia or Putin. Same for China or North Korea. Like when they research more, they become more and more attached. And when it comes to the case of Israel, like she is an expert on Middle East, and she knows a lot about Israel. And her standpoint is very rare among the academic field because the majority I hear, I don't know much about it, but I hear that the academic field is biased, and she is bringing a different perspective, and she's been fighting that. But she became friends with conservative people online, led by this big figure named Naoki Hyakuta, who was one of good friends of Shinzo Abe. Mr. Hyakuta used to work for TV station, I believe. Like was he a producer or something? And he was creating TV shows, which are very fun and funny. And so he knows how to stage things, right? And he became more and more vocal on politics after he published a novel about the World War II. And I think he made two or 3, I don't know. But one of his works turned into a movie too, and it was a great hit in Japan. So and then so he also began hosting a online program like on YouTube, and he had this like big sponsor, and he had like a conservative or right wing leaning show on YouTube, and yeah, so like he got more and more views, and even though me and other YouTubers had like some popularity, online, he just stole everything. And so a lot of people, I think that though the age range is about around his age, like 60s or so, like that's the biggest like range of right wings, like internet right wings here in Japan, 60s or so. There are lots of them, and they support, and they have money too because they're higher in the society, right? Like class wise, because they've worked so much before. They have money, they can buy his books and so on. Excuse me, let me wipe my nose a little bit. Okay, sorry. So yeah, and then he and his like there's this self-claimed journalist, and they began a party. They call themselves conservative party, but a lot of other like true conservatives are against them too, because they don't represent conservative, what it means to be conservative, and there are conflicts. I'm not involved in that debate because it's just meaningless and not productive, and I just try to stay out of problems, because like you have no idea, like every single day online what we are talking about, like conservative people or right-wing people, we are not talking about China or Russia or Middle East. We are talking about that party. It's just so ridiculous. And the woman, Ms. Iyama, is caught on that because she became close to those people. And like, if you look at their age, they're close too. So I guess that's what happens. And I don't know what to talk about them, yeah, they're like they have a lot of passionate fans and supporters, and not because of that, but on the other hand, what they insist is very black and white and so strong that they create enemies as well. I hope that explains. Hey, Yuka, how are things going on where you are? It is raining, but I'm feeling good because I worked out and my husband is here to support me. How are you? Of course, he remembers you. It is impossible to forget. Yuka. I hope so. Mr. Beast. What do you mean? Hey, Yoko. Hey, thanks for coming. I saw a news article from Japan that the police raided the Chukakaha. Do you know what it was about? Wasn't it a little bit long ago? 中核派にガサ入れかなんかしたみたいな。時々あるね。Yeah, they do that every once in a while. But, I don't know. Like they usually try to catch their other crimes, like fraud of use of credit card or some sort, and then they use that to break in, if you know what I mean. So yeah. Hey Yoko, I'm back from Japan. Oh, how was it? Did you like it here? Did you get to see cherry blossoms? If Takashi doesn't become the prime minister, the East will fall. Not sure. Because like people say a lot about LDP, but Takaichi is one of LDP National Diet members, meaning that even though she's like a lone wolf type and very rare in LDP, she is working with other fellow LDP politicians. And when we Japanese, like at least those who understand politics well, we know how LDP is. LDP is such a big party, and itself is like national diet. And at the same time though, like in order to decide their policy ideas, they have like very passionate discussions all the time. And even though their political ideology and everything are different inside, because it's a huge party, once they've decided their policy, nobody disobeys. They listen to that and they stick to that. So yeah, I wouldn't think so. What I'm trying to say is that they're working as a team, so I don't think that, because let's just look at Kishida right now. Like people, like especially on the right side, still they are like right at this moment they're complaining about him, saying that how he is not like Abe and blah blah blah. Like I don't even know how they can accuse him, but they're saying they don't just, I don't know, like they don't like him, period. But on the other hand, Kishida is actually changing the foundation of our country, especially when it comes to national security and military. And it's getting more realistic thanks to him. It's not only about our self-defense forces and their budget. There are more to that, like how to protect our people, how to get resources for them, or the use of infrastructures for them, in emergency and so forth. So and of course we are working with Biden administration as well, which is ironic. So I'm not too pessimistic about who leads the countries, even though because of Biden, I think that the world is in chaos. Yeah. Do you know about Konotaro? I hear about him from time to time. Yeah, he is really good at using the internet. He's very popular because he knows. Sorry, my nose. He knows how to use the internet very well. But he is. I don't know what he's thinking, but his actions sometimes damage our country. So especially when it comes to when he was a defense minister, I think, yeah, he just changed our policy by his own, and we are angry about it. So that happens, but we are at least aware of the danger of him, and especially because like at first we thought that he might be different, but he actually wasn't. He is good at digital stuff because he has lots of followers on Twitter and he's just popular. But when it comes to national security or political ideology or what he thinks of our history, he's not on the same page as us. So, and when it comes to that, like his father is actually one of the big problems here. He created a problem for us. We have had so-called comfort women issue, and that was because of him, basically. So, yep. I made it. I did miss a stream. Oh, thank you so much for coming. Huh? そう、自然エネルギーだね。そう、このタロコの is もう一回言って。He's anti-nuclear power plants, which is really bad. Conservative people, we want to use nuclear power plants because it's most efficient and clean energy as well. But he is against that, and he keeps pushing like so-called what is it called, like green energy or clean energy. And so like he pushes like solar panels and other kinds of ways to get electricity. And that is like when we look at that, he's like a freak to us. Meaning that like our nuclear power plants, like if we don't use our nuclear power plants, it damages our economy. It has damaged our economy so much, especially after the earthquake in Tohoku area in 2011, like Fukushima disaster year. After that, we stopped our nuclear power plants and it damaged our economy like crazy. And it's a little coming back, but but he wants to go on that way, so he is there to destroy our economy. Like at least what his actions are telling is that. That's an easy way to think. Just imagine Taro Kono as the like a uncle version of Greta. Greta, the Swedish girl. I met a new friend who's from Shizuoka, and she's Japanese with a Western mindset and agrees with individualism and hates the stifling village-like society of Japanese collectivism. Oh no. Maybe because she's from Shizuoka. I bet that it's a little bit like, I don't even know if that place is city-like. Yeah, there are lots of people like that. And you know why there are people like that? It's because they're not sophisticated. They don't know things. They're just ignorant. They don't know nothing. Like they don't know anything about what our culture really means or what our history means. I used to be one, so I know how they feel. Like where all these ideas are coming from. But really, it's just a result of guilt imprinting, education, and media reporting. Good evening from New Orleans. Hello, good evening. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you didn't have any problems from the recent earthquake. Yeah, I was okay. I posted a video like right when it was crazy. I was working out at night past 11 p.m. and then our phones just went right? And we're like, oh! Not by the earthquake, but we're like with the alert sound. It's so big, and it's meant to be, but it always surprises, like astonishes us, which is a good thing because it wakes you up too. My husband was already sleeping, but he woke up because of the sound, and it shook for a long time. So my nose let me. But yeah, so right when it began to shake, like I'm impressed that the alert comes beforehand. It wasn't not the case before, but now it's way better now, I guess. Like it's so dark in here. And it can be helped. Yeah. But yeah, so we got an alert, and then it started to shake. So I recorded right away. I know that it was not gonna get big because it just, if you look at the plates and so on, what you call, like, always forget the word. Like it doesn't shake as big here because of how it's structured on the ground. So then I knew of my safety, so I began recording, and it lasted for what, like 20 to 30 seconds. I think I kept recording, and I posted that on Twitter. I mean X. Yep. And it was long though. It was the longest I think that I have felt. Longest earthquake that I've ever felt. She believes that Japan has made remarkable progress in science and technology, but people's consciousness has not evolved. Do you think Japanese people should learn about the attitude from Westerners? No. Sorry, no offense. I mean, in a way, yes. Like when it comes to, for example, like lawsuits and so on, there are, because our digital infrastructure is basically coming from the Western countries, basically America in general. What happens there? Like we get the same problems as Americans, and what Americans do when they have problems is lawsuits, right? And Japanese people are not very used to suing each other, but we are learning that process. So that sort of stuff, how to live each day is important. But when it comes to cultural values, just I believe that Japanese people only need to be Japanese. Because yeah, I think that she is like people like that complain about Japan just has a like they just have their own problem, and they're just blaming the society because they don't want to face their own problem. You know what I mean? It's all about projection. So yeah. And that sort of people, are ashamed of our country, so therefore they study other languages and talk to you. So that's usually the case. Japanese Greta よくもそれができる。Greta everywhere. But Greta, she is growing older, so I think that her, like, we don't care about her anymore, like the impression is weaker now because she's older. She was a kid, so that's why it was effective. But today, she's just another activist, right? Even though leftists know how to use her. How many nuclear energy power plants does Japan have in operation country? Are there plans to reactivate any closed down ones? Reactivate. Oh. 何十個ある何個あるっけ？原子力発電所はいくつありますか？ maybe 50? なんか40以上あったよな。50ぐらい。50 or so? どんぐらいが動いてる？そんだけ？ Maybe? Maybe 5 or 6 are only 5 or 6 are reactivated, and so it's like dropping money every day, and over here though in our prefecture, I believe that our island, Kyushu Island, we have our nuclear power not moving, operating, so we get the benefit. Like our electricity fees are not as high as other areas. So yeah, the sound of the earthquake alarm sounds like it would give a Westerner on California PTSD. Yeah, I know. And all the New Yorkers, in New York they had an earthquake and they just freaked out, right? It was a small shake, but yeah. It's bad though, like for Japanese people, that we are so used to earthquakes that we don't, and also our new buildings are constructed very well to avoid the shakes, or I mean, like we can release the shake. With our recent technology, how it happens is that our tall buildings they are meant to shake so that it can, like by that, I don't know how, but it releases releases the energy of shaking. So yeah, so that's I think newer ones, if you are in one of them, I bet that you feel the shake more than it's supposed to, but that's the way it's supposed to happen. Yeah, and so like what happens in Japan is I saw this internet meme one day online, which drew a picture of like when an earthquake happens, what Americans do and what Japanese people do. Americans, they go under a desk, which is the correct way to do it. And Japanese people, when there's an earthquake, we open X and we post on X saying like, "Oh, earthquake!" So yeah, and I'm one of them. Like I began recording a video. So I bet that Taiwanese people are used to it too. Yeah. We'll learn more about her and ask what she knows, where she learned things, what she believes in, what she believes in, and what she really wants. She probably has just different ideas. Yeah, I wouldn't waste my time though. Like it's like if you have different culture or just values in general, it's usually better not to engage, and you should just find those who you can communicate well with, or I mean, I guess it's good to learn about what other people, like people with different ideas, like what they think about things. It can be eye-opening sometimes, but I don't know. I don't know how it benefits you. Seeing the party the West is going down these days is the best Japan remain Japanese. Yeah. Also, people appreciate Japan's uniqueness. Yeah. Yes. I'm so happy to know that there are lots of people in the world that actually care about Japan, because I didn't feel like that before. I really thank anime and manga, like comic books and so on, because without that, I don't think that our values and so on, or the greatness of our culture, was like, I don't think that it would have gotten known this much. Let me see. Our newspaper is showing Japanese newspaper. Iran attacks the facility. I don't know how to say that. Iran attacked the facility, and there's a picture as well, and they're talking about that. Oh, by the way, I think Taro Aso is going to America. Let me see. Our former Prime Minister Taro Aso, he's gonna go to New York starting from tomorrow, 4 days long, and then he is trying to arrange a meeting for President Trump. Probably they will meet in Trump Tower. So, and that is because, Trump is likely to win. That's what we talk about here in Japan as well. But Kishida, of course, like Biden is the president right now, and it would be rude to go see him if like Kishida can't meet Trump. right? So they're sending so it is said. The last time, I don't think that he got to meet him. I hope that he will make it this time. And then, man, like all this what Trump claims though, like when it comes to Ukraine, it changes one after another. I have a feeling that he's just testing the waters, to see the reaction of people to decide what he says. But it's a little confusing for us outsiders. And our newspaper is talking about Iran too, but the thing is that Japanese people are not much interested anymore, I feel. Generally speaking, like I don't see posts talking about Israel anymore, or even Ukraine. Not much. They're talking about another thing. Japan-China interaction quietly restarting, and high officials meeting more with the Japanese ambassador. That is interesting. Yeah. Chinese vessels have stayed in China for 4 months. Wow, that is bad. So I really hope that China has a new system too. I really hope that the world, pay more attention to China now, And I wonder what happens to Middle East though. 中東はどうなると思いますか? My husband doesn't have an idea either. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. What's that song? I think it's Pink. What do Americans want in Middle East? What is your ideal picture in Middle East? Trump? Probably nothing changes, just how we should keep things as it is, maybe. Trump should request Aso-san to bring some extra muscle with katanas to help prevent Letica James from taking over Trump Tower. Who is that? Yoko, I suspect the Western world is just going through growing pains as we figure out who we are again, since this was all started by the Middle East and Latin America having an immigration crisis. What do you mean? Like they're taking over America? Or I forgot to bring this article piece about Jewish people in America. It was talking about, is it called IPAC? AIPAC. It is very interesting. Oh, by the way, is Blinken Jewish? I didn't know that, Huh. Yeah, let's see that. Interesting. So that Blinken often visit Israel, so I bet that it works well for America. Yeah, that thing. IPAC? Like there's IPAC for China, right? The international, what it's called, a parliament member network is IPAC, but without the A. And this one is, how do you pronounce that? IPAC too? it's a Jewish one, right? Blinken is Jewish. Yeah, I didn't know that like until like recently. A lot of Trump's voting base are tired of Ukrainian conflict and are tired of billions of dollars going to Ukraine, while many Americans struggle to pay the bills and are impoverished. Yeah. But then always like the problems that I have with America is that America just decides and drops abruptly, and I just hope that that's not the case. Like I guess the realistic way is that just like Trump is pushing now, let or make NATO nations handle it. They have to pay more. Poland is paying a lot. Like they're investing a lot compared to other countries. But other countries have to do more. And what's interesting is that I heard like my husband was watching a show on YouTube, and an expert was explaining about like he was sharing what he heard from people in Poland, and they are paying so much, for defense compared to much more than other countries in NATO, and how the Japanese expert asked, how are you going to sustain your country that way, because your country have to survive. But the person from, I believe is from Poland, the words was that, the country has to survive or else like it doesn't mean anything, right? So like they have to invest in survival. And I think that's the correct way to think. And I hope that other countries will share the burdens as well. Like Japan, we're over here, like so far away from Ukraine, right? But we are helping a lot. Of course, Russia is our enemy too. Like we do have diplomacy, we have interactions, but historically and territory-wise, we are enemies in a way. So we're engaging in that, and also we are now able to send our gears to America, and through that sends that to Ukraine. So we have the system now, so that's good. But yeah, share the burdens, right? And then America. But the problem, though, I just have to tell you that America is respected. Like I keep saying that, but America is respected, and we listen to America because of the cost that you are paying. Like we can see it right through, right? The reason why America can be a boss in the world is because you are behaving in the way that a boss does. Like you are handling everything. And if you shrink your cost and so on, your burdens and so on, it's good for America, like everyday life. But at the same time, the hegemony might be caught by other countries. So that's something that the balance is always important. So like we are so used to this world order, post World War II world order, but it is not for eternity. So that's something that we should have in mind. The Middle East is the way it is and has been for 2,000 years. Agree. And we continue on for another 2,000 years. Nothing changes there, unless eye for an eye conflicts. Yeah. They keep fighting each other. Like it's the revenge of the revenge of the revenge of the revenge. It's so endless. It is really unfortunate. And I sometimes when I hear the news on TV, I hear the phrase like, the country, whichever side it is, like it is attacking innocent civilians. I'm like, what do you mean innocent, right? Like, if you look at Russia, for example, at least Russian people are fighting against the regime, even though it is really difficult. Like, they will get caught, but they don't care about that, and they are fighting for what they believe in. And of course, Putin is suppressing it. And same for China. On like Tibet, Uyghurs, and Mongolia, they are oppressed, but there are people that are fighting against the regime. And Middle East, there are really scary people, that has power. They gain more power, right? And the people are letting them have that power. So, like, why don't they, like, same for, like, yeah, like, things like that always, like, confuses me. Like, if you look at illegal immigrants to America, why do they come to America if they have their own country, right? And, like, innocent. Like, every time I hear innocent, I'm like, what does it mean? So weird. 46 minutes, 50 minutes to go. Why does the Japanese government allow Malaysians and Indonesians and Pakistans to naturalize? They subvert any country they move to in order to spread their religion. I don't know. It's that.
話したくのに戻るけど、原発は今40だね。いろいろ。
なくなったりとか。
今40はそのうちの10動いて
る。40のうちの10。When it just I'm gonna go back to the nuclear power plants topic, but my husband looked it up, and it seems that there are 40 nuclear power plants that are they're here for only 40, and 10 are activated. Yeah, reactivated. Yes, we got it right for them. Most of it. Yeah, but about naturalizing, it's a right, I guess. We just let them do it. It is not easy though to naturalize here, unlike other countries. Like Japanese people, our system is very strict, and so it's not easy. And that's why my friends, from Tibet, Uyghurs of Mongolia, they have a hard time. Like it might be better to naturalize, but sometimes the procedure is too much to handle. I do have a problem with Japan's collectivism when it comes to individuals. I was watching Nobita's videos on many social issues, and I just think individualism should be embraced a little more. What do you mean by individualism, though? What kind of thing are you saying by that? My country has issues too, and I think we should have a collective thought of electing leaders that put America first. My country is full of individualism, but we should have more collectivism. Yeah, it's always the balance is important, I think. I really like this collectivism, though, here in Japan, because that's how we have this somewhat safe society, unlike other countries. It's the atmosphere, it's the vibe that decides our country's policy. It's like our people are equally educated well, and so people are smart here generally. And like, I'm speaking to you, and if you find me good, like, when it comes to, like, my level of what you call, like, education or just smartness in general, if you find that good about me, then just know that I'm just a standard regular person here in Japan. So yeah, and we are equally educated, and we have common sense. Like our culturally, like we are taught well, and also even on social media platforms, like you would expect, like everybody can state their own opinion. They're free, right, on social media, unlike the real life here. But whenever there's somebody that does crazy things or says something a little bit weird online, we bash them so much because we're it's like we're a it's not like I'm not like why, like I don't know how to say that. Like it is just the fact that we are a one big family because we are the same race. It might have been mixed in the past, like very very ancient times, before Japan was built, but we're the same. We're Japanese, right? But in other countries, the identity, the blood, it's all mixed. Even I I'm not here to disrespect, but like if you look at the UK kingdom, what you call, like royal family, right? Their blood is mixed. Even they're the symbol, and they're the royal family, and even their blood and everything is mixed, right? But not here. And so what that means is that the way that we feel about other citizens here in Japan are probably different from how you feel about yours. But if you look at, but I bet that it's somewhat similar in Texas or elsewhere. Not the urban cities, but uh, those who have kept the tradition and so on. I bet that they have like similar sense as well, that the locals know each other. You are a big family, big one family, and your ancestors, moved from somewhere else to there to settle, and you share the same history. And so what that means is that you are one family, right? So what happens in a family is that you just it's not a control, but you you just spank their ass to, you know, get things together. You know what I mean? So that's what happens here. Mm. Have energy costs become more affordable since those reactivations of stayed the same? Like if we reactivate nuclear power plants, then it becomes more affordable. Yes. And that's why, like, my prefecture, or I mean Kyushu Island, we have a nuclear power plant that is operating, so we get the benefits. But other prefectures, their electricity fees are higher than ours, and by that, like, electricity is not only about our home, right? It's about factories, manufacturers, and all these big corporations. Like they need electricity to work for their job, so if it costs a lot, then it affects their business, and when their business is affected, then it affects the consumers, and it gets in a bad cycle, and so economy as a result is in a bad cycle. But so yeah. In conclusion, both Japan and America are polar opposites, but both should bring balance on both these things in order for a sustainable economy and society. It has nothing to do with culture. Huh? I don't want Japanese people to care too much what strangers think of them and think for themselves. I disagree. I disagree. We don't want selfish people. That, for us, what you're talking about is selfish. So We don't like selfish people here. Like even the clothes that we wear at work and so on, we don't wear what we want to wear. We wear what is expected for others so that other people are not offended. You know, we always like women here put on a makeup. Some people, like younger ones today, have an attitude and say, like, when they go on a date, for example, they say like, "Oh, I got dressed for you," right? Oh, that actually the same thing. I was gonna use it as to, you know, go against it, but it's the same. Like, "Oh, I showed up for you like this. It costs a lot, so pay me." They say that, but yeah, like we care so much about what other people think, and we don't want to like even the way that we speak. Americans in English, you have somewhat like change of forms, or like of course there are levels in English too, but it's not as much as we do here in Japan in Japanese. When we speak to each other in Japanese, like with strangers, we show our respects. Like our sentences are just different, right? Even by that, it shows, it reflects our culture, and we like it because we have so much about our. We don't welcome everybody. We have a what you call like a social, private, like a zone thing. What you call it? I forget. Personal space. Personal space. We have that so much. And what's interesting, though, I'll tell you, is that in America, when you open a door, which way does it go? It comes in, right? Oh, welcome. You open in, right? When we open our front door, it goes out. Who the hell are you? We open the door. And then we have to get to know each other. We don't let people in easily and so on. So pay me. Seriously though, it is the case. Like that has been our controversy here in Japan. And I'm like, you know, girl, like you are dressed up always. No, you didn't do that for him. So that claim is nonsense. However, yeah, that's the culture here. So like if you stick to your own way, then people will take it as disrespect. You are supposed to think about the mass. Like you are supposed to respect the public. We have the spirit of public. Look it up. It's a thing. Anyway, it's almost an hour. I gotta go very soon. What that means is that 5 p.m. here. So 5 p.m. is dinner time for us. I don't wear makeup. See, what's interesting is that American women don't wear, they don't put on the makeup always, right? To go to grocery stores and so on. Japanese people, we put on a makeup, even just a slightly. It's a courtesy here. Why courtesy? Because we care about what other people think. In that way, it's courtesy. You know, it's not about, oh, do I feel like self-conscious because I'm not wearing a makeup. It's not about that, even though that might be the case sometimes. Like fundamentally, it's about our culture. It's about that. 5 p.m. is a good time for dinner. Yes. Our dinner is very early. We usually eat at 5:30 p.m. So I can understand the outfit, but not the makeup. It's hard for Westerners to understand Japanese collectivism. Is it because the Western virtue of individuality only emerges when everyone is so different that there is no culture in it? Yeah. I don't know. Like if you go to a funeral sometimes, right? Would you go to funeral in red? You wouldn't. If you go to a wedding, would you show up brighter than the what you call the bride? No. Why? Because that's the courtesy. That's the just how it is, and you enjoy that, right? Over here in Japan, I think that sometimes it could be a stress, especially when I had a problem with mentality, when I had a problem with just myself in general. I was I was still a kid. And so like early 20s, in my early 20s, I had a problem with showing up for work in the clothes that I don't like, for example, or if I'm not represent like showing myself well in clothes in my fashion, I will feel very bad. But I've grown, right? I did a lot of self-development work and so on, and I have become mature. And then now I enjoy, oh, I have to go to this meeting, then let's wear like that because I'm so smart and thoughtful, right? I enjoy that now. So like it's just different. When I go hang out with people or go out with a girl, I don't have high expectations on anyone and let them decide what they feel comfortable with so it doesn't stress them out so much. That's good. Japan is becoming more like especially because after the World War II, our family structure has become a nuclear family, and that's the standard today. So it's more and more about individuals than before. We have changed, but just like you said, like it's the balance. And I think we are right now, we are in a good balance. By the way, I wonder, because regarding that, there's a TV show that you should watch. I wonder if it's out in other countries. Extremely inappropriate. we saw this TV series. There are only 10 episodes, but it aired from January to March this year on our TV, and I didn't watch that real like on time, but I watched it on Netflix. It's called Extremely Inappropriate, and it's a Japanese TV show, and it's actually about political correctness, because this guy from 1986 time travels to today by mistake. And from there, like he experiences all this cultural differences, and it's very interesting because you will realize that Japan has changed too. I am natural beauty though. That's good. That's good. But in Japan, if you're not wearing a makeup and if you're a female, then you seen in a certain way. Just like, in America, probably it has changed today, but I have heard before that I used to hear it before that in America, like if you manage the like human resources people, like they will look at your body shape and so on to see if you can manage yourself well. So that I guess that we have that sense as well, just in different ways. Americans used to be dressed when they went out. Yeah, I know. Classic way. Anyway, I gotta go. Dinner time. Oh, super chat. Thank you so much. You just got in time. Wow. Hello to my favorite person. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. My husband is chuckling. Why? 今は言えない。Thank you so much. Huh? It's not about invisible Yoko, because we are all different. We have different tastes. It is inevitable. I still believe people should not benefit from others, but their own is about being yourself. Why are you so? I don't know. Like you care so much about that. Like there's probably you should talk to somebody about it. You should not exist to please others. See, that's your opinion. We should not exist to please others. What if you enjoy that? You see as a problem because you don't enjoy it. But over here in Japan, we like it. So that's why we send each other gifts all the time too, cultural, like traditionally. Like when a season comes, we send each other gifts. And another season comes, we send each other gifts to please each other. That's our thing. And as much as you are saying like, oh, there's a balance and you should, like I don't know if you're saying that. I get an impression that you're saying that, but you gotta open your boundaries more to surrender to what's just there and accept. Acceptance is Japan's culture, by the way. So I don't even know what you're talking about anymore. I saw a funny Japanese YouTube video where a guy made a video to look like the Showa era. Oh, and people react to Twitter name change. To the Twitter name change. It was really good. People in the video acted and talked like Showa. Yeah. I mean, there's a samurai now in Japan. There's a guy I follow. I repost his posts sometimes on X, but there's a guy with traditional hair from here. So Showa era people, yes. Even an old camera was used to film. Really? Anyway, I gotta go, guys. Thank you so much for coming, even though it was so late. Thank you. I didn't get prepared enough for today, but next time I'll prepare. Okay? So that we can have more political discussions. So, wait for me for next week. Okay. Thank you so much for coming, guys, and thank you, Raiden. I always get them confused, but for your super chat, thank you. Okay. It's probably late for you guys, so thank you so much again for staying up late for me, and I hope that you have a good night. My husband is chuckling to make fun of me because I was so late. I'm struggling too, because I want to. There are a lot of things I'm taking care of, man. So. Jim here. Oh, enjoy your dinner. Thank you. You too. Take care. Thank you. See you next week. Okay. Okay. Have a good night. Bye.